on the weekend.
Oh yeah, I got mixed up. My bad. Right, should we get this sent over or so we are live? Yeah.
Yeah, we're live. Hi.
I'll just send a link over to Eryk now. Yeah, that was me again. Hello, me. How are you, Quinn?
Thirsty.
What?
Thirsty.
Oh, I thought you said 30. It didn't say how old are you, Quinn?
So what we're going to do here, obviously, we're going to be with Eryk in a minute, and then when we're finished with Eryk, we're going to end the stream so that we can process this and all that, and then we'll be live again in a separate one with Alex. So yeah, we'll be live twice. It's come out of the blue. But,
take it when you can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Opportunity to chat with loads of different people.
We did say we were ending the year strong.
Mm-hmm. That we did, boy.
We ain't lying. Did you see the message from
yeah, I think so. Just have to replay when we can.
Yeah. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I've got my basic setup again. I've done this.
Yeah.
Well, I'm in the process of sorting everything out in here. It's not worth me setting everything up. By next week, I'll be able to have it permanently set up. So
if it works for you in the meantime, then no problemo, yeah.
So it's easy. Ugh.
Your hands are magic. There's just being here, blade, and then you just. That's why I've got the link over to Mr. Anders. Yeah. Did we get the time difference right?
Yeah. I can't remember what we talked about. Was the time difference anymore? Like what?
Yeah, is Sweet Home.
Abalama, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we got it right. Yes. Yeah. 5:02 in Alabama. He's a busy man.
Indeed.
Not like we're not ready to go, so you know.
Just sit here and play with my beard.
Thank God you said beard. Lord, we were getting banned from Twitch.
And YouTube.
And probably Zoom somehow.
Yeah, somehow.
Oh. Can't wait for this cold weather to be gone. Like, I don't mind the cold, but this is ridiculous.
Yeah, or is it like being -7 or something on it today and tonight?
My computer says it's -2 at the minute.
What does your computer know? He's warm anyway.
Then my car said it was -4 when I was out.
Mm.
And I put the heat on and it got up to -1.
So still quite cold then.
Yeah. It's getting to that point where it's like harder to see it now. So, but it's not like black ice. But like I went to the car and went like that to open and not happening.
I thought you were going to say like you went like that to open it, like you started slipping or something.
No, I just tried to open the car and the handle didn't open.
Nearly snapped your arm opening the door. Yeah, I've done that before.
Yeah, it's unprecedented this frost for Liverpool anyway. We never get anything like this. Well, I mean, we do get it. We get this, but we don't get it this bad.
No, this is like talking. I don't know where it's cold, but it's like somewhere cold.
Off, lad.
This is like Serbia. Serbia's cold, isn't it?
I don't know. I've never been. Probably not. No. Probably just like average temperature type of place.
We're gonna find that out now.
You could have just said like Alaska or something to be like definite with the answer. If you can't tell, he's never been abroad, so let him off with it.
You say the Antarctic. That's cold, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm like 90% sure of that one.
Only 90. It's literally called the Arctic.
Yeah, but
like,
the Arctic monkeys are called the Arctic monkeys. Does that mean the cold monkeys?
Yeah.
Ready?
Yeah. It's like fucking going to the sun and going, sun's hot, innit? I'm 90% sure of that.
It depends on what day you catch it.
Not if you go into the sun, which you can't, because then you die. Just one big giant flaming ball in the sky, which also happens to be a star.
What happens? We just got all scientific.
Science, son.
Talk about weather and turns into science.
Yeah, why not? To be fair, it only turned into science because you failed geography.
I didn't like geography in school anyway, so.
No, but I didn't have a teacher for 2 years, and then I'm better at geography now than I ever was, and that's just because of like FIFA and Footy Manager.
More so Footy Manager.
Yeah, just see a flag, it's like, oh right, yeah, I know that flag. That's Vanuatu. Why do I know that?
Vanuatu, did you say?
Vanuatu.
Oh, okay.
Vanuatu.
Sounds more like a player.
There might be a player called that somewhere, but I doubt it. Yeah, it's by like Australia and Tonga and all shit like that.
Mm.
And Samoa.
Why did you sign a player from there one time?
No. A very, very tiny island, so not really producing many good players.
Puny Island.
Literally. Tell you what, it must suck to be Henry Cavill right now.
What, with not being Superman again?
Yeah, and then but before that, he announced that he was going to be Superman again. So because he was going to be Superman again, he was stepping down from The Witcher. So now he's not The Witcher or Superman.
I was going to say, didn't he step down from The Witcher as well? So
yeah, but now people are saying it frees him up to be Bond.
Well, like it's meant.
Not like it's meant, just but it does free him up to be Bond if he got offered that, I suppose.
Yeah, it makes him a candidate.
He'd be a good one. Like I think I don't mind Henry Cavill. But I still wanted to tell about, as we spoke about with Kurt yesterday.
Yeah, it was yesterday. You seen a bit of confusion on your face there.
It was because we had 5 in 5 days because of all of this now. Because we were basically dead after the live stream on Saturday. And to be fair, we only rescheduled one of them.
Yeah.
So yeah, just all sort of culminating now.
No, he's seen it.
Okay, this is good.
This is good. Sound like Habib.
This is not number one bullshit. Has he replied anything? Oh.
Yes.
Love it. His name is actually on it, is your boy.
Nice.
Right, there we go.
Let's get cracking.
What's going on, brother?
Yes, how's it going, mate?
Good, good.
Oh, just get comfy here.
Fix the phone. Right, so here we go, everybody. Your boy, Eryk Anders. Thank you so much for joining us.
Hey, my pleasure, man. Thank you for having me.
No problem, no problem. We'll jump right into it with you then. So your last fight against Kyle Daukaus looked absolutely phenomenal in that fight. You looked absolutely brilliant. Coming off 2 losses before that, was it important for you to go out and make a statement against him?
Sorry, my phone was up. What was that?
Can you hear us okay? Yeah.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Cool. So I was just saying, your last fight against Kyle Daukaus, you looked absolutely brilliant in that fight. You were coming off 2 losses going into that. Was it important for you to go out and make a statement against him?
Yeah, absolutely. I think anytime, even coming off just 1 loss or whatever, it's the next one is the most important. Even if coming off a win, my next fight after this one is equally as important.
Obviously, with Daukaus, it's only been finished once before facing yourself. How much confidence do you take from that, knowing you're capable of finishing people who would be considered difficult to finish?
I take it with a grain of salt. I don't want to get like complacent or whatever. But finishing fights is what I do. It's just kind of something I've gotten away from. Trying to change my fighting style and whatnot, and trying to be somebody I'm not. But your boy is back. And I plan on doing that to my next few opponents.
Yeah, you mentioned after the fight that you sort of went towards trying to make it look pretty as opposed to making it look ugly. Where did that sort of thought come from before this fight? Where did that "I need to make it look pretty" come from for yourself?
I don't know. I think I just got kind of hung up in everybody, saying, "Oh, he's a brawler. He's this. He's that." And I'm like, "No, dude. I can make it look pretty. I can be technical." But I think in trying to do that, like I think my fight against Kyle Daukaus, like I was technical. I don't think, or whatever. But I just think that I just kind of got away from the brand of what Eryk Anders is. Eryk Anders is an athlete who fights, and he's tough. He can take one, give more, and that's just kind of how I need to fight. And stop trying to not get hit so much and try to hit them. I got to make it a brawl. It's got to be ugly, and usually those kind of fights work out better for me anyway. So yeah.
So going back to your earlier life, then you were born on an Air Force base, sorry, in the Philippines. How much of your childhood was you spent there?
We moved when I was 2, so I don't speak language, remember much of it at all, or I was just a baby, so I just my mom dropped me there and picked me up and took off.
Yeah. You mentioned that the Air Force base there. Obviously, a lot of your family have been military personnel. For you, was there any consideration to join the military yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. Whenever I if football hadn't worked out of me coming out of high school, I for sure would have joined, probably the Marines. But, it did work out for me. And then I even thought about, joining after college. But I already had a son and I didn't want to be away from him for like months and years at the time. So at a time. So yeah. The military thing didn't work out, but I would have, gladly served this country for, yeah.
So you mentioned football there. Obviously, you attended the University of Alabama playing for the Crimson Tide. Nick Saban was your coach there at the time, I believe. And I understand you're still very close to him to this day. How important has he been in your life overall?
Yeah, I think the role and job of a football coach is to kind of be that father figure for the athletes. I think it goes beyond X's and O's and plays and, personnel and things like that. And I think that's what a lot of the players appreciate the most of Nick Saban is that, you can go back there, years later and talk to him. If there's any way that he can help you, he will. And, he really took on that father role for a lot of the guys, So, yeah, there's just not enough good things I could say about him.
Yeah. So to stick with Crimson Tide, then your last match was the 2009 BCS National Championship game versus the Longhorns. You led the way with 7 tackles and a forced fumble. How proud of that moment was that for you?
Yeah, that was probably my favorite game of my college career, obviously. But even outside of it being a national championship, like Texas was my squad growing up. Vince Young, Ricky Williams, Cedric Benson, all those guys. Huge fan of those guys growing up. And I wanted to go to Texas. I think my freshman year was Vince Young's senior year. So, and they won the national championship that year. So, it was cool. I really, really wanted to go there, but they didn't offer me. And I'm from like 90 miles down the road. So like an hour and a half from the University of Texas. And, they didn't recruit me. They didn't, whatever. So like when we played them, I had like a big chip on my shoulder. Getting that win and having that kind of game was, very important to me. So, yeah, I couldn't have scripted or wrote that any better.
Do you feel like you had something to prove to Texas in that game?
I'm sure that they, they're not worried about who I am or, they didn't care in high school. When I was in high school, why would they care at this point, So I don't think that they knew or cared or even after the game, they were like, damn, we should have got that guy or whatever. But for me, I was like, you should have got me. And, but, at the end of the day, it's good because if I had gone to Texas in my senior year, I would have lost to Alabama. So I think it worked out better for me anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Bittersweet.
So what's been sort of tougher for you in terms of like injuries? Did you suffer more as a fighter or as a linebacker?
They're different. And I'm a little bit older now. You know what I mean? So your body's not as durable when you get older. But dude, I never ever even pulled a hamstring until I was like 24, 25 years old, playing flag football. So I didn't really, but I never had any like major injuries when I was playing football, but my body always hurt from, my back and my knees and joints and things like that, just from like running and getting in collisions and things like that. It's a long season. And even in the off season, you're lifting an absurd amount of weight. So like for me personally, I think I was lifting more weight than my body should have been lifting. And that's why I was super stiff. My knees always hurt, my back. But since I've been fighting, dude, I've broken my face, had surgery on my eye, on just about every joint on my right side of my body, my Achilles, my meniscus, my elbow. Yeah, so it's hard to say which is worse. Obviously, getting hurt in a fight or getting injured in a fight or whatever. It's part of the game. But the training camps are like seasons. They're long. That you get beat up and all that good stuff. So I guess they have their pros and cons.
Yeah. How much does recovery differ between like playing football and mixed martial arts?
How much does what differ?
Like recovery. So you mentioned there, like you lifted a ton and that. Like, how much does it differ?
When I was in school, they had like a hot tub and cold tub there at the practice facility, and they had all like the Normatec boots and everything was right there. So you could like get done with practice and make it a part of your routine. Here, like you had to go drive somewhere, and I'd be lying if I say that I'm not lazy sometimes, and I'll skip the cryotherapy or skip the Normatex or whatever just to come home and get some rest, like lay down, take a nap, whatever. So recovery is definitely like a big part of training. I think that's why fighters, like Glover can fight till they're 40 something years old. Like he's got to be doing all that recovery stuff. And like when I'm in fight camp, it's just as important as the actual training itself, because if you're not recovered and trained and ready for the next training session, then you're going to train like shit and you're just wasting your time. So, I really make it a high priority when I'm in fight camp, but unless I'm just like dragging my leg or, I'm like beat up, which doesn't really happen around here too often, like when I'm home, because the level of competition is not as the same when I go train elsewhere, because it's just what it is. So I make it a priority to go do that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So you've got it on your name there, your boy, your nickname. So two things. Where did that originate from, and is there a certain way that you should say it?
Nah, I mean, your boy. Your boy Eryk. Yeah. Like whenever they announce it, it's your boy Eryk. I think sounds better than Eryk, your boy.
Yeah.
In my opinion, and I got it. It's because it's like kind of how I talk. Like, hey man, let your boy borrow your car. Let your boy, borrow $5, whatever. And then there's a dude from the gym who just thought it was funny that I kept calling myself your boy. So he started calling me your boy, but man, your boy over there, this, and it just kind of stuck.
Yeah.
It's definitely one of the cooler nicknames out there, I must admit.
I appreciate it.
So moving away from MMA a little here, earlier this year you were in an episode of Cobra Kai. How did that come about, and how was that experience for you?
It was awesome. Like, I have a newfound respect for actors. I kind of thought that they were like, what's the word I'm looking for? I thought they were like prima donnas, like, kind of soft. But man, I don't know if you watched it, but like I'm in like maybe 3 minutes of one episode, and that one scene where they're in Mexico in the bar or whatever, in the club. Took 24 hours to shoot that scene, 2 12-hour days to shoot that one scene. And it was exhausting. I must have fought Johnny Lawrence and his stunt double 100 times, So like, I understand now, like when these people like lose their mind and, flip out on people, man, they're tired, So yeah, it was quite the experience. And the way I got the role is, they filmed the movie here in Birmingham, and the stunt director from that movie, the stunt coordinator, became the stunt director for Cobra Kai. So like they had this spot for this Mexican fellow, Vicente, to come in, and he offered it to me. And, it was cool. I had to audition. I had to like read lines and, act out a scene and stuff. And they really liked what they saw. And yeah, I got the part.
Yeah. That's cool, that though. Yeah. So to sort of stick with that then, how difficult was it for you? You mentioned just acting in general, like how long that scene took, but how difficult was it for you to pretend to hit someone, you know, especially when you're someone who's spent a lot of time learning to actually hit someone, you know, in this year?
Man, you know, it was kind of, I don't know if intimidating is the word, but you know, I was definitely like, am I doing this right? You know, like in between takes, like, man, give me some feedback, you know?
Yeah.
Because everybody else there has been acting since they were kids, you know? Everybody knows who, you know, Johnny Lawrence, you know, in the original Karate Kids, and Daniel LaRusso, him, Miguel, all those guys are like Disney kids, you know, so they've been acting. This is my first rep, you know what I mean? Especially with speaking lines. So, but everybody was great, dude. They all helped me. They were all like, hey, you know, try to do it like this or say it like that or, you know, whatever. So, yeah, they were all like awesome.
Yeah.
Was you ever worried that you might actually connect when you were doing a fight scene?
Yeah, I accidentally, like, just at the very tip, like, hit Johnny Lawrence's nose. And I remember them telling me, like, when we were rehearsing the stunts, they were like, don't hit the actor. It's the fastest way to get fired in Hollywood is to fucking hit the actor. And I did that in the middle of the, like, but he just kept going, dude. He rolled with it. And, you know, I don't think he said anything about it. So, you know, that was cool. You know, he let me keep my job.
Nice.
So on the back of that, then, are we? Should we be expecting to see your boy taking over Hollywood anytime soon?
I would love to, dude. If they want to offer me a role, then yeah, dude. It was fun, dude, and I think it would be a cool way to pivot out of fighting. You know, you can only fight so long, but dude, you can probably act forever. You know, look at Morgan Freeman. How old is that guy? He's still acting. You know, so yeah, I think it would be really dope to you know, make that transition. So we'll see what happens though.
Yeah. Had you ever considered anything like acting when you were younger? Or
I mean, I think it crosses everybody's minds. Like, you know, you watch a movie and be like, dude, I want to be Arnold Schwarzenegger. I want to, you know, jump out of a helicopter or kill the Predator or be the Terminator, whatever, you know, it is that you watch. I was into action movies when I was a kid, you know. The 90s is probably the best era for action movies ever, you know. So I kind of grew up in that time. So I really love action movies. And Arnold is the guy for me. So, yeah, it's, I always, you know, of course, when you're a kid, you know, me especially kind of fancy myself as an action guy. I don't think like Romeo and Juliet would suit me or my personality, you know? Or if I had to speak with an accent or whatever, like, you know, I'd probably suck. But, you know, it'd definitely be something I'd like willing to put time, effort, and energy into to, you know, be successful at it. So, yeah, it comes down to it.
Yeah, definitely. So to finish up then, mate, what are your goals for next year, 2023?
Man, I'd like to fight, you know, 2 or 3 times in between fights, you know, and maybe land another role or two in the acting world, and, you know, just kind of play it by ear, you know.
Yeah. But hopefully we got a return from Vicente, yeah.
Or I could, you know, maybe I get in like a movie instead of a series. But it's cool. Cobra Kai is like #1 show on Netflix, so it was, you know, good, a lot of exposure.
Yeah.
And, you know, super happy for the opportunity.
Yeah, it was a great season as well. Good for you to be part of, and that. Good stuff.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, as you say, that's everything we have for you, mate. So really appreciate your time. Honestly, it's been brilliant to chat with you, and we can't wait to see what's to come from your boy in 2023.
Yeah, appreciate it, brother. Hopefully big things.
Absolutely. We've no doubt about it.
All right. You guys have a good one.
Take it easy, mate.
Appreciate it. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you.
That was your boy, Eryk Anders. What a guy.
Stuff.
So, as we mentioned, we're going to end now because we've got to prepare for the next one now. It's almost like a job, this, isn't it?
I know. It's meant to be like a little hobby thing. I know what's going on here.
I know, yeah. I mean, it's good though, because neither of us have got one of them right now. So, but no, we'll be back in about an hour anyway with Alex Caceres. Bruce Leroy. Don't know what that was, but yeah, join us back again in about an hour.